अकेले तो मैं नहीं जा।
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and warm welcome to you all. I am Jyoti, your host for today. We continue with our Ohsms Industrial Safety Series. Our topic for today is SMPV Pressure Vessel Code. It shall be taken by the Mr. Afzal Hassan. He shall be covering Introduction of SMPV Rules 2016, Applicable Code for Design, Construction and Testing of Pressure Vessels, Storage Requirement of Pressure Vessels, License Requirement, and facilities required at gas tanker degassing station. It shall follow question and answers. Let's quickly go through the agenda. Virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Mr. Afzal Hassan, question and answer session, and last closing session. A brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria. Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. He is a chairman and managing director of International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualifications are Mechanical Engineer in AMIE, Honorary Doctorate in Business Management. He has experience in nuclear RAPP. He started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawat Bhata, Kota, Rajasthan. Oil and gas, EIL. He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Bombay High since its inception. DNV. He was head of industry and offshore development with the DNV for 2 decades. ICS. He is founder of first Indian conformity assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, which is a provider of total quality solution under single umbrella with wide spectrum of services. He has achieved Lifetime Achievement Award of NACE Corcon and received several national and international awards. Now I request Dr. Kataria to virtual inaugurate the session.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. A brief introduction of the keynote speaker, Mr. Afzal Khan. Afzal Asar, sir. He is a General Manager, Inspection in International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualifications are BTech in Mechanical, ASNT Level 3, Ultrasonic Testing, Radiographic Testing, Magnetic Practical Testing, Penetrant Testing, BARC RT Level 2nd. His area of specializations are non-destructive testing, quality control and quality assurance, third-party inspection, welding, and pipeline. Now I welcome to Sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for giving the introduction. I'm presenting my PPT. I hope you have my screen. Yes. Yes. Okay, welcome in the session of introduction to the static and mobile pressure vessel rule 2016, SMPV rule 2016. As per the SMPV rule 2016, the pressure vessel definition is defined. It means pressure vessel means any closed metal container of whatever shape intended for storage, transport of any compressed gas, which is subjected to internal pressure and whose water capacity exceed 1,000 liters and include interconnecting parts and component thereof up to the first point of connection to the connected piping and fittings. So this is the definition. The pressure vessel fall under this rule. Means less than 1,000 liter capacity of the vessels are not fall under the SMPV rule 2016. But not included the container where in the steam and other vapor or is the intended to be generated or water and other liquid is or in it intended to be heated by the application of fire or product of combustion by electrical means heat exchanger, evaporators, air receiver, steam type digester, steam type sterilizers, autoclaves, reactor, calorifiers, pressure piping components such as a separator, strainer, vessel containing a liquid under the blanket of the compressed inert gas. So this is the condition where the pressure vessel fall under this rule. Type of the pressure vessels. As per the SMPB rule 2016, basically that is categorized the static pressure vessel and pressure vessel which used for transportation. The static pressure vessel used for the storage of compressed gas which is subjected to internal pressure and whose water capacity exceed 1,000 liter and include interconnecting part and component thereof up to the first point of connection to the connected piping and fittings. This is related to static pressure vessels. Mobile pressure vessels. Every vessels used for the transportation of compressed gas is a mobile pressure vessels. Pressure vessels type. There are four most common pressure vessels based on shapes. One is cylindrical pressure vessel, spherical, and horizontal and vertical pressure vessels. Another one of the type based on shape and design called mounted bullets. Mounted bullets are a horizontal pressure vessel which are intended for pressurize the storage of liquid petroleum gas under the ambient temperature. Houghton sphere. The Houghton sphere is a spherical pressure vessel which is used for storage of compressed gas such as a propane, liquid petroleum gas or butane in the liquid gas stage. What is the cylinder? As per the SMPV rule 2016, they have differentiate between the gas cylinder and that rule is defined what is gas cylinder, what will be fall in the gas cylinder, what will be fall under the ISMPV rule 2016. Gas cylinder means any closed metal container having a volume exceeding 500 milliliter but not exceeding the 1000 liter, intended for the storage and transport of compressed gas, including any liquefied petroleum gas, container or compressed natural gas cylinder fitted to a motors. So this is the differentiation between the pressure vessel and gas cylinder. What is cryogenic pressure vessels? According to the ISMPV rule 2016, cryogenic pressure vessel means a pressure vessel intended for storage and transportation of cryogenic liquid and include the cold converters, vacuum insulated evaporator, vacuum insulated storage or transport tanks, and thermosiphon tanks, and includes a permanently installed cryogenic pressure vessel of 1000 liter water capacity or less of storage of the cryogenic liquid. What is cryogenic liquid? Means a liquid form of a permanent gas having normal boiling point below the minus 150 degrees centigrade. So that the cryogenic liquid get evaporate below the minus 50 degrees centigrade is called the cryogenic liquid. Examples: nitrogen, helium, hydrogen, argon, methane, and carbon monoxide is the example of the cryogenic liquid. Vacuum insulated vessels, which use for the storage and transportation for the cryogenic liquids. This basically that insulation provided, vacuum is provided between the two shells. Inner shell have a storage vessel and outer shell provide the shielding for prevent the heat for providing the restriction of heat. Non-vacuum insulated, that the insulation material provided on the inner and outer vessels. Static vertical cryogenic pressure vessels. These are the transport cryogenic pressure vessels. Important definitions given in the ISMPV rule 2016. Act means the Indian Explosive Act 1884. Approved means the drawing, design, specification, code approved by the chief controller. And auto LPG means liquefied petroleum gas, mean for the automatic fuel, conform to the IS 14861. Auto LPG dispensing unit stations mean a premises used for storing, dispensing the auto LPG as a automatic fuel to the motor vehicle. As per the ISMPV rule 2016, the compressed gas is defined means any permanent gas, liquefied gas, or cryogenic liquid under pressure or gas mixture, which is in a closed pressure vessel exercise a pressure exceeding 1 atmospheric pressure or gauge pressure at the maximum working temperature and include the hydrogen fluoride. In case of vessel without insulation or refrigeration, the maximum working temperature shall be considered as a 55 degrees centigrade. Means if the working temperature is more than 55 degrees centigrade of the gas stored in the vessel, not fall under this rule. Critical temperature means the temperature above which the gas cannot be liquefied by the application of the pressure alone. Cryogenic liquid means liquid from the permanent gas having the normal boiling point below the minus 150 degrees centigrade. Restriction on the filling, manufacturer and import of the pressure vessel, including the fitting and vaporizers. No person shall fill any compressed gas in any vessel or transport any vessel filled with any compressed gas unless such vessel has been manufactured in accordance with the type or standard or code as specified under the Rule 13, fitted with the fitting approved by the Chief Controller. No person shall manufacture any vessel and fittings thereof under sub Rule 1, including vaporizer, without the prior approval of the Chief Controller. Any person seeking approval of his fabrication shop for fabrication of pressure vessel, vaporizer or fitting under the sub rule. Restriction on filling and manufacturing import of pressure vessel, including the fitting and vaporizer, shall submit particular specified in the appendix first to these rule, copy of ISO certification, equivalent certification in respect of the fabrication shop, scrutiny fee specified in the clause B of schedule. Chief Controller on receipt of documents mentioned in the clause 1 shall get the fabrication shop inspected by the controller of assessment of capability for fabrication of pressure vessel. Vaporizer fittings shall be either approve the shop or reject the application depend upon the assessment report. The approval shall remain valid initially for the period of 1 year. No person shall import any vessel without prior approval from the Chief Controller. Restriction on delivery and dispatch. No person shall deliver or dispatch any compressed gas fitted in the vessel to any person other than the holder of storage license issued under these rule or to a part authority or a railway administration. No compressed gas delivered for or dispatch under the sub rule shall exceed the quantity which is the person whom it is the deliver or dispatch is authorized to store under the license held by him. Repair and modification to the pressure vessels. No person shall carry out any repair modification to any vessel unless the prior approval of repair modification procedure and their method of execution is obtained from the Chief Controller and controller authorities by him on the payment of scrutiny fee specified clause B of the schedule first. Any such repair or modification shall be carried out in the manner and particular practice acceptable under the design code referred to the Rule 13, including NDT pressure testing under stage with the inspection of inspector recognized by the Chief Controller. Before any repair, addition or alteration are carried out to any vessel, the same shall be completely emptied and purged with an inert gas. Complete record of repair, addition, alteration referred to the sub rule 1 be maintained and made available to the Chief Controller and controller authorized by him. His permission shall be obtained before recommissioning of the vessel. Purging of the pressure vessel and use for the flammable gases. Before using any new vessel, before the refilling, any existing vessel which has been made gas free, air contained therein shall be purged by the inert gas or by the gas for which the vessel is to be used. If the vessel is purged by means of flammable gas, the flammable mixture, so the form shall be vented from the vessel only after taking adequate precautions to prevent its ignitions. Prohibitions of employment of children and intoxicated person. No person under the age of 18 years or who is in a state of intoxication shall be employed for the loading, unloading, transport of any vessel containing the compressed gas or in any premises licensed under these rules. Supervision and operation within the licensed premises. Operations of licensed premises shall be under the supervision of persons having a knowledge of the equipment being used in the premises and who are the trained in and in handle compressed gas, and other operators shall be conversant with the hazards associated with the compressed gas and the firefighting operations. Special precautions against the accident. No person shall smoke, bring any matches, matches or fire or articles capable of causing a ignition or commit or attempt to commit any act which may be tend to the cause of fire, explosions in or about any place where any compressed gas is stored, handle, transport in a vessels. All empty vessels which had a contained any flammable or toxic gases shall except when they are opened for purpose of filling, cleaning, rendering them gas free, but kept security close until they have been cleaned and freed of the gas as the case may be. Every person is storing compressed gas in a vessel and every person in the charge of engaged in the storage, handling, transportation of such gas in the vessel shall at all time employ with the provision of these rules and condition of any license issued thereunder. Observe all precaution for the prevention of accident by fire explosion. Prevent any person from committing any act referred in this rule. Design code of the pressure vessels. Vessel shall be designed, constructed, tested in accordance with the IS 2825, ASME Section 8 Division 1, Division 2, PD 5500, EN 13458 and EN 13530, AD 2000. Code is amended from the time to time or such other standard or code accepted by the Chief Controller. A test and inspection certificate issued by the inspector and countersigned by the approved fabricator in the prescribed formats that the vessel meet the requirements of a standard or code referred in this sub-rule 1 shall be furnished to the Chief Controller or controller authorized by the Chief Controller. Design pressure of vessel shall not be less than the vapor pressure of gas in the vessel 855 degrees centigrade. Developed pressure of the gas in the vessel 855 degrees centigrade if the vessel is meant for the storage of permanent gas. Maximum allowable service pressure with the additional allowances for vacuum, static head, such due to the acceleration, deacceleration, as the case may be, in respect of the cryogenic liquid proposed to the stored or transported. Static head higher of the water column or compressed gas column shall also be considered for the static pressure vessels. Wind load, seismic load shall also be considered for the vertical cylinder vessels and Houghton spheres. Fittings, each vessel shall be provided with the each of the following fittings, all which should be suitable for use the gas at the pressure not less than the design pressure of the vessel to which they are fitted and temperature appropriate to the characteristics of the gas and operating condition, namely pressure relief valve connected to the vapor space, drains, content gauge or maximum level indicator, pressure gauge connected to the vapor space, means of measure the temperature of the content of the vessels. Periodic testing of the pressure vessel in service stage. Except specifically otherwise provided in this rule, all vessels shall be hydraulically tested by the competent person, a person marked on the vessel at an interval of not more than 5 years after the date of first test, provided that the case of vessel containing the corrosive toxic gases, periodic tests shall be done at the interval of 2 years. Internal inspection along with the residual thickness measurement shall be carried out during the periodic testing. Vessel of more than 100 kL water capacity mean the flammable, corrosive and toxic gases shall also be subjected to the non-destructive test for well inspection in addition to the hydraulic test referred in this clause. Cryogenic vessel, pressure vessel and vessels for liquid carbon dioxide made of stainless steel shall be periodically tested when the pneumatic pressure at 1.1 time of the maximum allowable working pressure. Periodic testing of the pressure vessel in service. Carbon dioxide storage and transported vessels made for the carbon steel shall be subjected to the hydraulic testing. Instead of pneumatic testing at the mark test pressure as per the design and fabrication code, it shall be ensured that the vessels after testing is thoroughly dried of water and made the moisture free before taking into the service. Ammonia Horton spare shall be subjected to the first periodic inspection after 2 years of its installation, and the inspection shall be consist of detailed non-destructive testing of the vessels. Second periodic inspection shall be carried out after the 3 years of the first inspection shall involve non-destructive testing and hydro testing of the sphere. Subsequent periodic inspection including non-destructive testing and hydro testing shall be carried out every 5 years. Nothing withstanding anything mentioned in the clause A or rule 3, 4, 5 above, license is liberty to carry out the hydraulic test as per the design code during the periodic inspection under the rule 19. Competent person carry out the test as required under the sub-rule 1, sub-rule 6. Abu shall issue the online certificate of the test in the prescribed format along with all the annexures given in the detail of entity inspection prescribed above. Storage of compressed gas vessels. This is the general requirement. The except specifically provided in these rules, all the vessel means the storage of compressed gas shall installed entirely above ground. That is to say, no part of the vessel shall be buried below the ground level. Vessel and first stage regulating equipment shall be located in the open. Vessel shall not be installed one above the other. Vessel within the group shall be so located their longitudinal axes are parallel to each other. No vessel shall be located within the bounded area of the petroleum or other flammable liquid storages. Sufficient space shall be provided between the two vessels to permit the firefighting operation. 2 or more vessels installed in the batteries shall be so installed that the top surface of the vessel are on the same plane. Vessel with their dished and facing each other shall have a screen wall between them. Not withstanding anything contained the rule 1 to 8 above. Vessel for storage for liquefied petroleum gas called LPG and other liquefied compressor gas can be placed undergone covered by earthing conforming to the national or international standard acceptable by the chief controller and the requirement specified in the schedule 3. Above ground vessel for storage of corrosive, flammable, toxic gas in the liquefied state shall be provided with the enclosure wall all around the ground. Minimum separation distance between the vessel and sump shall be diameter of vessel in case of vessel with water capacity not exceeding 40,000 liter. 15 meter if the water capacity vessel is exceed 40,000 liter. A corrosion allowance of minimum 1.5 m shall be provided for the vessel made of carbon steel. Minimum safety distance for non-corrosive and non-flammable or non-toxic gases. Water capacity in the liter not above the 2,000 liter. Minimum distance from the building or group of building or line of adjoining properties should be 5 meter. Minimum 5 meter, and minimum distance between the pressure vessel shall be 1 meter. If the capacity is more than 1,000 liter and less than 10,000 liter, the interdistance between the building and pressure vessels should be 10 meter and minimum distance between the vessels should be 1 meter. If the capacity of vessel is more than 10,000 to 20,000 liter, minimum distance should be 15 meter between the building and pressure vessels, and the between the vessel should be 1.5 meter. If the capacity is more than 20,000 and less than 40,000, then the interdistance between the building and the pressure vessels where the pressure vessel is stored shall not be less than 20 meter, and the distance between the pressure vessel should be, minimum distance should be 2 meter, not less than 2 meter. Above 40 liters capacity, the interdistance between the building and pressure vessel should be 30 meter, and the interdistance should be minimum 2 meter. This is the another one table related to the minimum safety distance for the corrosive, toxic or permanent flammable gases. This table is talks about the same method: capacity, interdistance between the building and vessels, capacity, distance between the pressure vessels. So the capacity of the storage capacity of the pressure vessel up to 2000 liter. The minimum interdistance between the building and vessel should be 5 meter, and interdistance between the pressure vessels should be 1 meter. Above 2000 liter to 10,000 liter, interdistance between the building should be 10 meter, and minimum distance between vessels should be 1 meter. So this table is talks about the interdistances between the building and between the pressure vessels based on the capacity for the corrosive and toxic or the permanent flammable gases. This table talks about the distances required, safety distances required for the liquefied flammable gases according to the capacity up to 2000 liter, minimum distance from the building or group of the building or line of the adjoining properties. If the vessels is above ground, then the interdistance should be 5 meter. If the distance is above ground or underground, but it is mounted, then the interdistance can be reduced up to 3 meter. The interdistance should not less than the 3 meter. So based on the above ground and mounted, they have categorized in two category. Interdistance has been reduced when mounting is provided. Minimum distance between the pressure vessel, accordingly, it's categorized in two method based on above ground and based on mounting provided in the above ground and underground. So interdistance had been reduced when where you providing the mounting. Above ground vessel capacity up to above the 2000 liter, but not less than 7500 liter. The above ground vessels interdistance should be 10 meters for the any building or adjoining properties, or if the pressure vessels is mounted, then the interdistance can be reduced up to 3 meter. Accordingly, interdistance between the pressure vessel shall be 1 meter. It may be grounded, above grounded, or it may be mounted. Interdistance for the capacity of 7500 liter and up to 10,000 liter, interdistance is increased according to the capacity of the pressure vessel. The interdistance is increases accordingly, and the interdistance between the pressure vessel also increases. Only that the interdistance between the pressure vessel is the constant. Even capacity is increases for the case of mounted. Minimum safety distances. Minimum safety distance between the facility associated with the storage of liquid flammable gas in the petroleum refinery, gas processing plant, storage terminal, and bottling plant. They have given a table 4 according to the capacity, interdistance between the buildings, and interdistance between the equipment to equipment, and all facilities are available. So table 4 is talks about the required minimum interdistances for safety. Table 5 mentioned in the rule 2016, minimum safety distance in meter between the facility associated with the storage, dispensing of liquid petroleum gas in the liquefied petroleum gas dispensing station as automotive fuel to the motor vehicle. So this table is talks about the interdistance required between the facility provided at the ALDS stations. Table 6 is talks about the minimum safety distance for the non-flammable, non-toxic cryogenic liquid and liquid nitrogen oxide. And table 7, minimum safety distance for liquid carbon dioxide. So the numbers of tables are defined in the SMPV rule 2016 and for the safe distances. Earthing requirement for the pressure vessels. All the vessels used for the storage of flammable compressed gas shall be electrically connected with the earth in an efficient pipeline. Conveying the flammable liquid shall be adequately prepared for electrical continuity and connected with the earth in the efficient manner. Fire protections requirement. All vessels used for the storage of flammable compressed gases shall be protected against the fire hazards as under provision shall be made for the adequate supply of water, fire protection in the storage area in the accordance with the provision of the rule and regulation applicable in the area. Applications of water may be hydrant, hose and mobile equipment, fixed monitor or fixed spray system, which may be automatic. Control of water flow should be possible from the outside any dangerous area. The firefighter system shall be designed with the minimum velocity. Sprinkle for above ground storage vessel filling shed loading and unloading area and pump shed having the minimum spray density of 10 liter per minute per square meter for the single largest risk area and with the additional requirement for the hydrant points. Fire protection, all the plant referred the table 4 of rule 22. The quantity of water available shall be sufficient for 4 hours for firefighting in the plant. Refer table 4b of rule 22. Same shall be for the 2 hours of firefighting and other installation not covered under the table 4ab. The fire water storage shall be approved by the chief controller. Hydrant where the provided shall be readily accessible at all time. So spaced as to provided for the protection of all vessels. Sufficient length of fire hose and shall be provided and shall be readily available. Outlet of each hose line shall be equipped with the combination of jet, fog nozzles, and hose should be maintained well and periodically inspected. Mobile equipment. Fixed monitor or fixed spray system shall be designed to discharge water at the rate sufficient to maintain the adequate film of water over the surface of vessel supports under the conditions. Consideration shall be given to the provision of mobile or fixed water spray system giving the suitable and effective protection for vehicle loading and unloading area. At least 2 dry chemical powder type fire extinguisher of 9 kg capacity each shall be installed at each point of access to the installation. In a liquefied petroleum gas dispensing station for filling motor vehicle having only underground and earth covered mounted liquefied petroleum gas storage vessel, 2 number 70 kilogram dry chemical type fire extinguisher shall be provided. This is requirement for the ALDS fueling motor vehicle stations. Dispenser for auto LPG dispensing station. Dispenser and mounted fittings used for dispensing the auto LPG in motor vehicle provided in the auto LPG dispensing station shall be designed, constructed, tested and maintained in accordance with the requirement laid down in the schedule 2 of this rule and be of the type approved in the writing by the chief controller. Special provision for filling fuel tanks of motor vehicles and unloading of the tank trucks in auto LPG dispensing stations. Auto LPG shall not be fitted in the fuel tank of motor while the engine of vehicle is running. During the period of unloading of auto LPG from the tank truck to the storage vehicle, operation of dispensing auto LPG to the motor vehicle shall not be carried out. Auto LPG dispensing stations, storage capacities requirement as per this rule. Maximum water capacity of individual vessel shall be limited to the 20 meter cube. Number of vessels shall not be exceed 2 in an installation and shall be designed for the pressure of not less than 14.5 kg per centimeter square and not more than 2 unloading road tankers shall be undertaken at the dispensing station per day. ALDS may be installed in the existing MS and HSD dispensing station or separate installation. Installation, operating procedure, inspection, maintenance, training, emergency plan, procedure for auto LPG dispensing stations shall be prepared and enforced by the operator. Preventive maintenance schedule and periodic inspection of various equipment shall be carried out by the operator and record shall be maintained. Safety distances between the various facility shall be as per the table 5 of Rule 22. Rule 22 is applicable for the interdistance between the facility provided at ALDS. Mobile tanker unloading for the ALDS shall be done using hose with the automatic closing arrangement on the both end of the hose. Smart, called the smart hose. Smart hose means they have an arrangement. The inside volume held at the both end should not vented. They have a provision that if you want to disconnect the hose, that hose should be that wall should be closed or provided on the hose, so that no release of liquid LPG take place at the end of the unloading. Alternative, loading arms can be provided. The hose shall not be more than the 5.5 meter in the length and shall conform to the recognized Indian international standards. Unloading shall be undertaken during the lean hour of morning and afternoon, with each unloading process not exceeding the 60 minutes. Mobile LPG tanker shall be parked on the hard stand and shall be in the drive out position while the unloading the products. Suitable provision shall be available for the emergency excavation of the LPG from the underground vessel into the mobile evacuations facility and the periodic inspection. The tanker shall be provided with the cathodic protections, nozzle on the vessels. Each vessel shall be provided with 2 circular manhole located on the top of the vessel having the internal diameter 600 mm and 350 mm respectively. Level gauge auto LPG tanks should be provided with 1 mechanical type of level gauge. Remote operated valve should be equipped with the open and close position indicated should be of fail-safe design set to close within the maximum of 30 seconds. That is very important. Within 30 seconds, it should be operate and close. Electrical apparatus and installation requirements. No electrical wire shall be passed over a storage vessels. All the electrical wire installed within the safety zone of any storage vessels for the storage of flammable compressed gases shall consist of insulated cable of approved type. The cable shall be mechanically continuous throughout and effectively earthed away from the vessels. For the pump room, use the pumping flammable compressed gases. All the electrical motor, distribution board, switches, fuses, plugs, sockets, and other instruments shall be of explosion protection construction complying with the requirement of IEC 60079 1 to 11, that standard is provide the requirement for the explosive atmosphere equipment protection by the flame proof enclosures. At the different zone wise has given from the 1 to 11 categorization of the requirements. All the electrical fixed lamps shall be enclosed in the wall glass flame proof fitting conforming to the IEC 60079-1 standard. Classifications of hazardous area for the flammable gases. According to the SMPV rule 2016, they have the classification as given according to that hazardous area for the flammable gas shall be deemed to be considered in a zone 0 area of the inflammable gases or vapors are expected to be continuously present in the area. That area is classified as a zone 0. A zone 1 area if the inflammable gases or vapors are expected to be continuously present in the area under the normal operating condition, it is considered zone 1. If it is continuously present, then it will be the zone 0. If it is present at the in the normal operating condition, that will be categorized in zone 1 category. Zone 2 area if the inflammable gas or vapors are expected to be continuously present in the area only under abnormal operating condition or failure or rupture of any equipment, then this area is categorized zone 2. If any question arises whether the hazards area is zone 0, area of zone 1 or zone 2 area, decision thereon of the chief controller shall be final. Certificate of safety for storage of any compressed gas. Certificate of safety in the forma described by the chief controller and signed by the competent person shall be furnished to the licensing authority before any vessel is used for the storage of any compressed gas or whenever any addition or alteration to the installation or foundations for the vessels is carried out. Now the vehicle for transport of compressed gas. Every vehicle for the transport of compressed gas shall be of the type approval in writing by the chief controller. Every vessel used for transportation of compressed gas shall be constructed and tested in accordance with the requirement of Rule 13, shall meet the requirement of sub-rule 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 of this rule. These are the additional requirement other than Rule 13. Protection of walls and accessories. All the wall and accessories shall be safeguarded against the accidental damage or interference. Wall and accessories shall be mounted and protected in the such way that the risk of accidental rupture of branch to which the wall and accessory is connected is minimized. Wall or accessories situated at rear of a vehicle shall be protected by the rear cross member of the frame of the vehicle against the damage and shall comply with the sub-rule 2. Design safety equipments requirement for the transport vessels. Following requirement shall comply with the correction with the electrical and anti-statics properties of vehicle used for the transportation of compressed gas. Electrical system shall have the battery in an easily accessible position, readily accessible cut-off switch of not less than 300 ampere rating, wiring so fixed and protected as to minimize the accidental damage or undue wear. Vessel shall be electrically continuous with the chassis and vehicle shall be provided with the bonding point of bonding cable Tires shall be of the anti-static types. There shall be clear space between the space at least 15 centimeter between the back of the cab and front of the vessels. Rear of the vessel shall be protected by the robust steel bumper. Maximum weight of the liquefied gas for which the vehicle is designed should not exceed the difference in the weight between the unloaded weight of the vehicle and maximum gross weight permitted for that class of vehicle under the appropriate transport regulation. Suitable emergency kit should be provided. There shall be in each road tanker for each type of compressed gas. Fire protection requirement: 2 serviceable fire extinguishers, suitable size and types, shall be provided on the each vehicle, 1 on each side, and should be accessible from the outside the cab. A person while in or attending any vehicle conveying the flammable gas shall not spark or use the match or lighters. No fire artificial light or artificial cable capable of causing the fire or explosion shall be taken or carried on in a vehicle carrying the flammable gases. Operation requirement: driver shall be carefully selected and given the appropriate training in driving and safe handling of the equipment and the compressed gas carried in the vehicle. When the loading or discharging of vehicle takes place within the operator's own premises, a skilled trained person with the requisite knowledge and experience shall be present throughout the operation. When the discharge is progress at the customer premises, driver shall remain within his vehicle in the such position so as to be able to stop the discharge immediately in case of emergency. Every vehicle shall be constantly attended to by at least 1 person. In the event of overnight stop away from the home base, prior arrangement shall be made for the safe parking of the vehicle of overnight. In any emergency, driver may seek the cooperation of the local police in the finding suitable parking facility for his vehicles. A certificates for the safety for the vehicle use for transportation of any compressed gas. Certificate of safety in the prescribed format designed by the competent person shall be signed by the competent person shall be furnished to the licensing authority before any vehicle is used for the transportation of any compressed gas to affect the vehicle meet with the provision of the rule in this chapter. License for storage and compressed gas. No person shall be store any compressed gas in any vessel except under and accordance with the condition of the license granted under this rule. Prior approval of certification any plans of vessels and premises purpose to be licensed. Every person desiring to obtain the license to store any compressed gas in any vessel shall submit to the chief controller or controller authorized by him specification and plan drawing to scale in the triplicate clearly indicating manner in which the provision prescribed in the rule shall be complied with the premises proposed to be licensed and area of which shall be distinctly colored or otherwise marked. Surrounding area laying within the 100 meter from the edge of the all facility which are the proposed to be licensed. However, for the major installation of flammable toxic gases include LNG exceeding total capacity of product 50 metric tons or 100 meter cube water capacity of each vessel, whichever is less, area laying within the 500 meter along the hazard operability study and risk analysis report prepared by the reputed agency. The position, capacity, material of construction, ground evaluation view, all vessels, wall and fittings, filling and discharges pump, firefighting facilities were provided, and all other facility forming part of the premises proposed to be licensed. Piping and instrumentation diagram for the vessels equipment system proposed to be installed. So these information to be provided to the authority for while applying for license. No objection certificate is required. An applicant for the new licensee license other than the license for the storage of non-toxic, non-flammable compressed gas in the pressure vessel, license in the form LS2 shall apply to the district authority with the 2 copy of site plan showing the location of the premises proposed to the license under those. These rule for certificate to the effect that there is no objection to the applicants receive a license for storage of compressed gas in the pressure of vessels at the site proposed, and the district authority shall, if the sees no objection, grant such the certificate to the applicant in format is specified in the rule 6 of this rule, who shall be forwarded to the chief controller with his applications while he apply for the licensing for storage of compressed gas vessels. No compressed gas filled in a vessel shall be transported by the vehicle except under and accordance with the condition of the license granted under this rule. Nothing in this rule shall apply to the transport and compressed gas filled with the vessel by railway administrations. So it is not covered in this rule. Application for licensee. Applications for license. A person intending to obtain the license under this rule shall submit the chief controller or controller authorized by him an application which is a form LS1A to store the compressed gas in the pressure vessel, and in the form of LS1B to store a dispense auto LPG as automotive fuel. So they have given the different types of formats in the rules for the applications. The form LS2 to transport the compressed gas in the pressure vessels by the vehicles. So these different formats are given for applications. AS3 form as AS3 if the application is in the respect to the permission to import the pressure vessels. That form AS3 should be filled and submit to the authority for along with the applications. A certificate of safety under the rule 33 and rule 43 as case may be. A test and inspection certificate as per the rule 30. 4 copy of drawing for site layout, installation, details, and vehicle mountings and as built vessels design drawing duly endorsed by the inspector shall be submitted. License fee, no objection certificate from the district authority, and copy of registration of vehicle certificate shall be submitted. Power of inspection, search, seizure, detentions and removal. This power has given in this notification and a level of officers and area of their authority. Chief controller or controller authorized by the chief controller have the area that he can do. He have the power for inspection, search, seizure and detention. Detentions and removal of vehicle whole of India, all the district magistrates, their respective district, all the magistrates subordinate to the district magistrate, their respective jurisdictions, commissioners of police, their respective jurisdictions, and deputy commissioners of police subordinate to the commissioners of police, respective area over which their authorized authority extended. All the police officers not below the rank of sub-inspector, respective area over which their authority extended. Minimum required facility at gas tankers, degassing stations. LPG, propane and other flammable gases for the tankers. So degassing facilities, required facility for the degassing stations are minimum 7,500 liter water capacity, static pressure vessel to hold the compressed gas, temporary covered under the license of LS1A form. Minimum safety distances of 30 meters around the vent stake to the release excess gas. Vent shall be at least 11 meter high and adequately supported and shall be provided with the device to prevent the reverse flow of the vent gas. Venting of gas shall be kept to the bare minimum 100 KL water storage tank, connected pump, piping, fitting, compressor, etc. with the safety interlocks for carry out depressurizing, degassing, purging, hydraulic test, etc. That facility shall be provided at the premises. Necessary facility to carry out the internal visual inspection, NDT, hydro test, as per the design code, and recommissioning, purging and vessel safe refilling of the gas for which is licensed. Facility required for the toxic and corrosive gases tankers. Minimum 7,005 liter water capacity, static pressure vessel to hold the compressed gas temporarily if required, covered under the license in the form LS1A. Direct venting of the gas in the atmosphere is prohibited. Facility shall have the arrangement of dedicated water storage tank, each type of gas, and shall be adequate capacity to fill water, mobile pressure vessel for dissolving the water soluble gases and neutralize of the water used in this process. Efficient scrubbing neutralization system, connected facilities for the safe disposal for the contaminated water. Some are few of the accidents are highlighted here because of the some failures. Cleveland disaster, a very first commercial LNG facility built in the United States in 1941 caused a major industrial accident known as the Cleveland disaster. Cleveland disaster, where the 1944, according to the United States Bureau of Mines report, LNG holding the tank failed and released their contents into the stress and sewers, and their vapors cloud ignited and fire engulfed the nearby resident and commercial establishment, injured 220 and killed 131 people. LPG tanker filled with 41 ton of gas over ton on the GT road in Ambala, July 2018. Gate fall down. LPG tanker truck stopped on the Uran Fata flyover on the Sain Panvel highway, date 13/11/2016. Tanker carry out the LPG toppled on the Uran Fata flyover on Sain Panvel highway after his wheel got dislocated from the axle, resulting in the tanker truck dropped in sideways. Bullet fire killed there 28 February 2003 kills, and on the 28 February 2017, 3% died, and the busy National Highway 37 was blocked for over the 18 hours after the LPG blood tanker overturned near the Rangmati under the Dargaon police station in Golghat districts. Truck carry out the 300 LPG cylinders, catch fire in Rajasthan, 2 killed and 4 injured. 2 people were and 4 injured on 15 August 2021. Explosion and fire due to the LPG tank truck explosion at Kanpur in 2001. Some questions related to this design requirement. Why are the petrol storage tank not painted black? The answer of this question is A gasoline storage tank are painted white to reduce the heat absorbed. Higher temperature will increase the evaporation losses and air pollution. Some heavy oil tank are painted black to be absorb the heat, warm the oil to reduce the viscosity, and also to look better if the black oil is spilled. Why is the LNG stored in the cylindrical tanks while the LPG is stored in the spherical tanks? Let's get the micro consumption out of the way first. Both type of gases are stored in the tank shaped and cylinders or shaped spheres, but for the different design reason. The reason is LNG is stored and transported at a very low temperature, which is minus 164 degrees centigrade. In fact, consequently, the tank need to be thermally insulated. Methane cannot be compressed as well as LPG. Therefore, it is transported at the atmospheric pressure. The least surface of the storage vessel is a sphere, hence the thermal loss is easier control. However, the ship and lot of space is going to waste in the between the cylindrical tanks. Cause the tanker to exploded. What is the cause? Basically, the oil tanker explosion are caused by the faulty fuel tankers and tanks that are overweighted, bad muffler system, ignite, and the reason for the accident was the loss of balance and error of the judgment by the driver. So maybe number of reasons. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Afzal sir, for the presentation and explaining the topic in simplifying way. Now I request all the participants to please put your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask directly. So there is a one question. Safety distances are based on which standard? I request you to please explain that question, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. What type of energy conservation measures can be taken up in pressure vessel installations?
Energy conservations, right?
Yes, sir. What type of energy conservations measures can be taken up in pressure vessel installations?
Energy conservations. Basically, pressure vessels is used for the storage of compressed gas. But so it is no need any energy. Basically, energy conservation when we are not using energy. Generally, when we use the cryogenic substance, cryogenic liquids or gases, then we need the electricity or the insulation. Electricity for refrigeration or insulation for provide the to provide the barrier between the atmosphere and the vessels.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Ashok asked cathodic protection. Okay, cathodic protection already we covered. The vessel should be protected from the corrosion. So that arrangement that should be provided in the design.
अफजल, you're muted. Can't hear you, अफजल. आपका mute दब गया है. Afzal, you can stop share, then we can see you on the whole screen. Yeah, thank you.
No. Yes, sir. Explain the cathodic protection, Mr. Who asked Mr. Ashok Nanda asked the cathodic protection. Cathodic protection basically given to the vessels for providing the basically protection from the corrosion. So different types of protection may be temporary and permanent. There are two types of cathodic protection, that is called the TCP and PCP. So basically we have provided generally we can provide a coating also, and in addition we provided the basically called the anode for giving the for provide the protection from the corrosion. So cathodic protection is one type of this basically arrangement which gives protection from the corrosion. Anything? Surendra Mankar asked one kind of insulation provided on the LPG or LNG tanker. So LPG tanker, they generally not insulation is not required because it is operate on the atmospheric temperature generally up to maximum 50 degrees centigrade. But the LNG tanker, all the tankers have two types of insulation, one called the vacuum and one called the insulation. Vacuum insulation, like you have seen the thermoflask. Flask will be used like vacuum provided between the two shielding between the two layers. So under LNG tanker have two tanks. One is for the storage, and second will provide shielding, and between both tanks provide vacuums. Another one is sometimes we use the insulation material between both layer of the tanks.
Afzal, I think we have Indraneil ji who, has written that the explanation is not in line. So Indraneil ji, if you could, unmute yourself and kindly, throw light on your perspective. Ghosh sir?
See, cathodic protection means you have to give a small amount of DC supply, right? And so depending upon which material you are using, that will decide whether it will be positive or negative. And in the what the speaker explained about painting and other things, they are not cathodic protection. That is why I wanted to make.
Right.
There can be corrosive, anti-corrosive paint, but it is not cathodic protection. Cathodic protection means you have to give a very small amount of DC supply to the container, and generally it is given on a negative supply is given on the container, and there will be one positive plate which will be known as sacrificing plate. So metal from the positive plate will go and deposit in the negative plate. So that is how you can stop the corrosion. So the question was also there in the chatbot, which is cathode and which is anode. So I think this explains it. So there will be a sacrificing plate, positive plate, and the negative terminal will be connected to the container or the metal body which you want to protect.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your expertise and knowledge on the subject, sir. What I think what Afzal intended to say is basically protection against corrosion is provided by primary and secondary methods. And primary method of protection will always be the painting or the coating which is applied. Wherever you have holidays within the application of paints, because paints will sometimes, will have certain kind of abuse in operation or installation. At that point of time, you have a secondary system which again works in two methods. You may have a sacrificial or you may have a ICCP. The one which you mentioned perfectly, sir, is the ICCP system, where we call the impressed current cathodic protection, where the cathode and the anode is done. And I think even Nanda Sahab has a point where he says is what acts as the anode. So anodes are of various materials, sir. So depending on what kind of metal chemistry you are using and what is the potential at your metal space, you will have to look for suitable anodes. So anodes have a very long history of development, right from zinc to magnesium to ribbon anodes. And there are it's a very evolving industry. And we have zinc ribbon anodes which are very popular nowadays, and these are used in both. So you may have a sacrificial system, which is you just short it to a sacrificial anode and it'll have a particular design life, or you could have a ICCP, which is the impressed current cathodic protection, whereas Ghosh Saab has rightly said that you will have a TRU, which is a transformer rectifier unit, which will have an anode side and a cathode side, where you'll have a sacrificial. So you will kind of maintain it at about 100 meters from your vessels ideally, so that you do not have depleting structures in connectivity. And you will measure the active and the passive length, and accordingly you will have a deep well or a shallow bed depending on your site conditions and design. Nanda Sahab, I hope that answers, and thank you so much Indranil ji for that piece of advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumit. Thank you.
Over
Nice,
to
nice explanation.
Yeah.
I think Afzal is not in that line in electrical engineering.
Correct.
That's why he could not explain correctly. So anyway, this type of interactions should take place in all the webinars. It is not the knowledge somebody is having or the
Bilkul, sir,
things.
bilkul.
If the interaction takes place, it is good.
Superb,
And
sir.
another,
We all have so much knowledge and expertise within each one, so whatever
yeah,
we
yeah.
share here is what we take home, sir. So this mission of ICS is to share knowledge and build nationwide competence, sir. So these are
Yeah,
free
yeah.
webinars where we look forward to more interaction from your side. And I welcome people, because everyone has their own strengths and expertise. So if you have some knowledge to share with everybody, you're more than welcome to please unmute yourself and share.
Yeah, one more thing I wanted to tell you, that is regarding energy conservation aspect. See, energy conservation not only mean the electrical energy, there are other aspects also, like Afzal was telling, providing proper insulation. See, if insulation is not properly provided, then heat energy will be absorbed and there will be chance of um, expansion of the volume inside, and that will cause unsafe things, right? So that's what my question was. It is not exactly the electrical energy part, the other insulation part, and other also various things, whatever for lighting and other things we are using, for lightning protection also, whatever things we are using there. So, Afzal, in the next webinar or something, kindly focus little on lightning protection system also. So that will be of good here.
Very well said, sir. We will in fact surge protection and surge diverters is one new topic which we can add on to these series, wherein we can talk about lightning protection and typically IS 13048, where you have the earth pits and what should be the measuring, and how industry should maintain regular maintenance and checks. That by itself is a subject, sir. So we'll take note of it, and we'll put a session specifically on electrical lightning safety within our next webinar.
Okay,
Sure.
okay. Mr. Sumit,
Yes, sir.
I think your number is visible there. I will just note it down,
Yes, sir.
and so that I can give you a call.
Perfect.
Let the slide be there. Just
Yes.
I am noting
Yes,
your
it
number.
is.
Please.
It is on.
Just read it. What is that? 932.
That's 93246 44271.
271. You are country manager of ICS. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
over to you, Afzal. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. If there are any more questions, you can, ask them directly, unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can, probably put it on the chat box. Both are fine. Afzal, I think Sachinji is unmuted. Sachinji, you have something to add?
No, sir.
Okay. So if there are any more questions, we'll take them, sir. Yes, Afzal, over to you.
Okay, sir. I think no questions. Thank you for giving the chance to present this slide. Okay. Over to you. Please take it. Closing it. Give the closing.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for the presentation and explaining the topic. Our next session is HAZOP, Hazard, Hazen, and SIL. It shall be taken by Miss Gayatri Kelkar. She shall be covering HAZOP, what is HAZOP, when to conduct, structure of HAZOP worksheet, then hazard analysis QRA, what are the risks, steps of QRA, applications of QRA, hazard, what is hazard, when to conduct hazard, structure of hazard worksheet, and last one is SIL. What is SIL? Method of SIL classifications, structure of SIL worksheet. It shall follow questions and answer session. Paryavartan 2022. Paryavartan is an annual virtual exhibition and conference organized by ICS in association with SJK Foundation. This year we are going to celebrate Paryavartan from 2nd to 4th June. Here is our banner of Paryavartan with the theme Only One Earth. During Paryavartan, we will be having eminent environmentalists from various industries sharing their views and knowledge about sustainable environment. So do join us during the Paryavartan. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development. Integrated Management System, QMS, EMS, and OHSS. Excellence in Education Management. ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above books, please contact Ms. Sushma Kindalkar. Details are given below. Feedback form, please register on www.sadgunsam.org and go in your login and give feedback. On behalf of the Sadgunsam team, I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar at a great success. Thank you for being a part of Sadgunsam.